Let us review in detail the separate actions which take place in an AM transmitter. The information or intelligence to be transmitted starts as sound waves which travel through air. The microphone picks up these waves and transforms them into electrical energy.
Bachi amazes visitors and scientific investigators who say they can hear the dead speaking through his old vacuum tube radio. This extremely rare form of mediumship is also called direct radio voice, or DRV, and is virtually unknown to the public. With it, experimenters believe that two-way conversations with the dead are possible. But could the Skull Group communicate through Bachi's radio?
Manu, are you there? Emily?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, Manu. Thank you, Manu.
After this, scientist Harry Oldfield, a colleague of the Skull Group, attempts further communication.
We would like to ask the question of the appearance of your space.
I can't really answer that.
Can you tell something about Skull?
Did I appear to be aware of what you're doing?
The radios were off. Okay? And voices were still coming through the speakers. And then people started saying, what is that? Could it possibly be ghosts? Then people started getting curious and asking questions. And psychic mediums were a big thing back then in the 40s, the 30s, you know.
To speak through his radio is usually so reliable, he conducts regular sessions. This seems highly improbable, but these grieving parents don't think so. The walls are littered with pictures of dead loved ones. Parents clearly recognize the voices as belonging to their departed children.
Tuning it back and forth on static. Because the human voice basically is AM amplitude. Interesting. Okay. If that's you giving me a sign through the camera, just speak into this radio. It'll pick up your voice. Just talk through this radio, so I can put your voice on the internet, on YouTube, so your fans can see it. Your fans or family or friends can hear you talk. I'm hearing tapping, like physical tapping. Hello? Are you here, dude? With your old radio at home, you can pick up any radio. Just tune it. DRV. AM, on, AM, and tune it back and forth. To know if your radio is good for picking up ghost voices, unplug it from the electricity. Put your ear against the speaker. If you can hear voices coming through it, it's DRV worthy, or any ghost can come through. Then you just got to ask questions and wait for a spirit, wait for a ghost that's willing to talk. You just go up and down like this, station to station. Try on the lower bands where there's no radio. AM. You'll be surprised who comes through.
Can be affected by many disturbances. For example, one such disturbance can be lightning. Let's freeze the signal at the receiver antenna and see what the interference has done to it. Our primary concern is with the amplitude variations, for they carry the intelligence. To a point, the variations are just as we transmitted them, and the AM system was working fine. But the lightning has added new variations. These are superimposed upon the variations carrying intelligence. There are many man-made devices and natural elements or occurrences that can affect the amplitude of the RF carrier. Each one adds more hash, more static, more interference. The receiving antenna will pick up both the composite RF waves from the transmitting antenna and the random noises generated by the lightning. These two will combine and distort the amplitude of our desired signal.
So get a radio, put it on AM, tune it back and forth when you feel that. That means he's near you, and record it, or else people are not going to believe you. You can get an old radio that you may have at home, put it on static, and then just tune it back and forth.
Done.
and then ask your EVP questions. Is anybody here? Now we tried the app.
Matrix.
You're hearing a ghost app there speak. Now listen for other voices that are not mine or the app, ghost app speaking, coming through the radio. It's called DRV method. Tune it on the static, back and forth.
Mile.
Hello, is anybody here?
Lust.
Using software endorsed by the FBI, Il Laboratorio have conducted voice print analysis.
There will be no output signal. Feed it a modulated RF, and it will provide an audio signal which mirrors the amplitude variations of that RF. Feed it an RF signal that has been hashed up by interference, and the audio signal will contain an accurate reproduction of that same interference. The audio signal mirrors the interfered RF signal fed into the detector. There you have a major disadvantage of AM radio. It is unable to separate the intelligence from the hash and static that appear when conditions are unfavorable. In frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier is modulated, as evidenced by the uneven spacing of the waves, rather than the amplitude. An unmodulated carrier would be the same for FM as it is for AM. It has constant frequency and constant amplitude in its unmodulated conditions. The carrier frequency, which is determined by the oscillator, is called the rest frequency.
Hello, is anybody here?
Lust.